Board of Zoning Appeals call to order on October the 14th, 2024. First item on the agenda, approval of minutes from the September 23rd, 2024 meeting. The motion by Mr. Melbourne and a second by Mr. King. All those in favor, raise a hand.
Yeah, we have one
It's
member.
to say, is there a
You got-
vote?
Yep, so
You got me.
All right.
with one member being on Zoom, we will have to do a roll
for
call.
that too.
So each person will have to
Okay.
state their vote to get Chris's on the record.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Mole,
Yep, I'm good.
Mr. Milburn,
Yes.
Mr. King,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Second on the agenda, special requests for continuances.
Staff has received no notice of any continuances this week.
Okay. Seeing none, next up is findings of fact, BZA 2024-037 development standards variance by petitioner Brian Courtney for property located at 1153 Madrid Road. Entertain a motion.
In consideration of the statutory criteria, I move that we adopt the written findings of fact as presented, incorporating the evidence submitted into the record as our final decision and final action for variance petition number BZA 2024-037.
Motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Milburn. Okay.
Aye.
Mr. King, Mr. Mole,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mr. Milburn,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Motion carries 4-0. Old business, BZA 2024-036 development standards variance for 530 Howard Road. Petitioner Kip Kane requesting relief from UDO section 10-03-13C6 accessory structures to allow an accessory structure over 300 square feet to not have a 36-inch masonry wainscot. Anyone here on that petition? Anyone online on that petition? Have we heard anything from the petitioner?
The petitioner did email me this morning requesting the Zoom information for it, and he mentioned that his wife may be attending the meeting on his behalf.
I see no one.
So the petitioner, although they are not here, I know last time they were disappointed that it wasn't voted on, even though they were unable to attend. I'll kind of leave it up to you guys on what you would like to do. They do have written statements that were provided in the staff report, but I had expected that the petitioner would be here virtually, or that his he has appeared on Zoom.
It's just, yeah.
Kip Kane is his name.
Okay, Mr. Kane, can you hear us? Hello? Is there a problem with the connection? Are you on mute, Mr. Kane?
IT, if you are able.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, we can hear you now. Do you
Okay.
have capability of video?
It's not coming up.
Okay, because we will need to get you sworn in. for making your presentation. So can we do the swearing by audio?
He is muted again.
Mr. Kane?
Dave, I can't do it without video.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
but we
sure,
do
it's
need to have your video.
I'm trying to figure it out. It's not coming up. Hold on. You see.
There we go.
We can
Okay,
see you now.
can we see, okay, I think we can see you now. We're gonna need
Yes.
you sworn in, so our secretary will do that, if you can listen to her.
Okay.
Swear on the against perjury, testimony is true to the best of your knowledge.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, all the notices,
Yep, the notices and the application are all in order and they are in our file.
I'd like to submit the uniform development ordinance and the comprehensive plan for City of Greenwood.
okay, is there anyone other than Mr. Kane here to speak on this petition? Okay, you wanna tell us why you're here? Mr. Kane,
Yes.
you wanna tell us why you're here?
Yeah, I'm here because of I guess the wainscoting of on a an RV carport.
Okay, do you have your statement regarding the reasons that for your request? Do you have those handy?
No, I don't. Sorry.
If it's acceptable, I could read the statements and have
Okay.
Mr. Kane confirm that that is indeed what his statement is.
Okay, I'll go ahead and start it so that you can respond.
Okay.
So the city is going to respond on your behalf, but you're gonna have to confirm whether that's accurate or not.
Okay, I can barely hear you, but I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community because
The structure is on the side of the house with an empty residential lot directly adjacent. The lack of mortar masonry wainscot will not be injurious to the public health, safety, or general welfare of the community.
Mr. Kane, do you agree with that?
Yes.
Number two, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner because
The proposed structure will not impact the use or value of adjacent properties. None of the adjacent properties have wainscoting.
Mr. Kane, do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Number three, the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property because
Wrapping the small columns would be unreasonable and create an end product that would look unnatural.
Mr. Kane, do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, number four, the structure is not regulated under Indiana Code 8-21-10-3 for hazard care navigation. Do you have anything else you would like to state regarding the petition?
No, I don't.
Okay, and so does the city have anything that they want to add on this?
Yeah, we do. We did provide a favorable recommendation, with a condition that 3 shrubs be planted on the north facing side. And that the shrubbery shall reach a minimum of 36 inches in height within 3 years. For this situation, it is in line with the home, and there are some mature trees in front of the carport. They do have brick or masonry on the home, but we felt that it would be a reasonable substitution to provide a different type of screening that would basically cover the area that would have been required to have the masonry wainscot.
Mr. Kane, did you have any issues with the proposed recommendations by the staff?
No, that's no problem. I can install bushes.
Okay. If you have nothing else, close the hearing. Panel, any questions or comments? Mr. Milburn? Mr. King?
No.
Mr. Mull?
No questions here.
Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to enter the evidence into the record.
I move that we admit all the evidence presented in regard to this matter, including the notices, receipts, maps, photographs, written documents, petitioner's application and attachments, petitioner's detailed statement of reasons, the staff report prepared by the planning department, certified copies of the Unified Development Ordinance and Comprehensive Plan, testimony of the petitioner, city planning staff, and any remonstrators, and all other exhibits presented, be they oral or written, for consideration by this board in regard to this petition, and to include the testimony of those present this evening.
Motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Milburn. Okay, voice voting, Mr. Mull,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mr. Milburn,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Motion carries 4-0. Entertain a motion on the decision.
I move that
Ma-
we request with 2 conditions in the staff report. Hang on, Thank you. One, that the landscaping shall be installed as stated below. Actually, I guess it's one condition, so I meant that. 3 shrubs shall be planted on the north facing side. Shrubs shall reach a minimum of 36 inches in height within 3 years.
Motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Milburn. Voting, Mr. Mull,
Aye.
Mr. Milburn,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Motion carries 4-0. Mr. King, you are able to continue on working with the city on your request.
Okay, how do I go about getting a permit? Do I have to come back in or what?
Mr. King, I will email Aaron Crute, our residential building inspector, letting him know that you have relief from the 36-inch masonry wainscot. And then you'll just need to address any other questions that Aaron Crute has before you can release the permit to make sure you're all good with Aaron. But I will let him know that you do not need the 36-inch masonry wainscot anymore.
Okay. Thanks.
Work with it. Work with Aaron.
Okay. Okay.
Now entertain a motion for issuing the findings of fact.
Madam Chairman, having considered the statutory criteria, I move that we direct the Corporations Council Office to draft written findings of fact regarding our decision on the variance request presented in variance petition number BZA 2024-036. Said findings to specifically incorporate the staff report and evidence submitted into the record for consideration and adoption by the Board of Zoning Appeals as our final decision and final action regarding the petition at our next meeting.
Motion by Mr. Mull, second by Mr. Milburn. Voice vote, Mr. Mull,
Aye.
Mr. Milburn,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Motion carries 4-0. Moving on to the next petition, BZA 2024-038. Oh, I'm sorry, old business from the floor. We have none. New business.
Am I good? Am I good to go now?
Yes, you are.
All right.
Done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
New business, BZA 2024-038, Development Standards Variance for 122 Totten Drive. Petitioner Gordon Carpenter requesting relief from the following sections of the Unified Development Ordinance, Section 10-2-12A. REM development standards to reduce the accessory structure setback to 2 feet. And number 2, section 10-03-13 C2, accessory structures to allow 2 accessory structures of the same type. Anyone here to speak on that?
I am.
Okay, anyone online to speak on this petition? Okay, you want to stand and be sworn in?
Offense, perjury, testimony is true to the best of your knowledge.
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Thank
You can go ahead and get up to the podium. You'll have to stand at the podium to present, and there should be a sheet up there for you to sign in with your name and address, so we make sure we have it spelled correctly and have it all correct. Are all the notices in order?
All the notices are in file and in order.
And for the uniform development ordinance and the comprehensive plan.
Okay, so Mr. Carpenter, tell us why you are here.
I'm looking to get a variance on a second shed on my property. One, because it's hard for me to cut grass with push mower, so I plow a riding lawnmower, just over this end. And the new variance, I guess, or new law says it has to be 8 foot from property line. I'm looking to get a variance for only 2 foot, to match my other shed that's back there. And then the variance for the second shed on my property.
Okay. And you have your statement,
Yes,
statements? So that you can respond to the,
I really don't have that on me. I didn't know I had to bring that.
we have to put it on record. Do you have an extra copy up here?
I'll try to look for it on my phone.
There you go.
Your eyesight would be better than mine if you can read it off your phone.
Oh, I know.
Okay, it appears we have one set of answers for both variance requests. Do we need to read them separately, or will one time through be a good?
I think one time through is fine.
Okay, so this will be for both variances. Variance number 1 to reduce the accessory structure setback to 2 feet. And variance number 2 to allow for a second accessory structure of the same type. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and read through these. Number 1, I will start them off and then you do the response.
Okay.
The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community because
The accessory structure would be a simple 10 by 10, 100 square foot shed, similar to the existing shed in the rear yard. The new shed will be no closer to the side property line than the existing shed.
Number 2, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner because
The new shed will complete the existing shed and is entirely contained within my backyard. Will have no effect on surrounding property values.
Number 3, the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property because
And the practical difficulty is the arbitrary denial of additional storage by the UDO.
do you have anything else you would like to add?
No, ma'am, this is my first experience. It's kind of been a road to go.
Okay, and staff, do you have any
Staff,
comments?
yeah, staff is in favor of both of the variances, both the additional shed and the setback. You have several conditions. One, that the final plan shall substantially conform to the site plan. And Exhibit C, the building permit be obtained prior to installing the new shed. And that no additional accessory structure of any type shall be permitted, nor shall any future variances be granted for an additional accessory structure. Essentially, staff feels that the limit of 2 accessory structures makes sense, but differentiating between types is a bit excessive. Particularly since the other types would be permitted, a garage, pool house, or an accessory dwelling unit wouldn't even make sense in his backyard.
So if
if I would sell the house, would I have to mention that they couldn't get a variance, or would they be able to?
That,
I don't plan on putting it in the rule, so.
we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay.
Wouldn't worry about that. But yeah, I don't see anything unreasonable with this recommendation, and same with setback, it would be same as the shed that's there now, so it's not going to be of any harm. You have fencing around the yard, it's not gonna be seen much from the joint properties.
Mr. Carpenter, did you have any issues with the recommendations that the staff proposed?
No, ma'am, I don't.
That's all. We'll close the public hearing and open up to the panel. Mr. Milborn?
No, I was gonna ask about things, but yeah, it's fine. Yeah, nothing else.
Okay, Mr. King?
Nothing.
Mr. Mull?
No questions here.
Okay, then I will entertain a motion to enter the evidence into the record.
I move that we admit all the evidence presented in regard to this matter, including the notices, receipts, maps, photographs, written documents, petitioner's application and attachments, petitioner's detailed statement of reasons, the staff report prepared by the planning department, certified copies of the Unified Development Ordinance and Comprehensive Plan, testimony of the petitioner, city planning staff, and any remonstrators, and all other exhibits presented, be they oral or written, for consideration by this board in regard to this petition, and to include the testimony of those present this evening.
Motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Milborn. Voice vote, Mr. Mull,
Aye.
Mr. Milborn,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
and I'm an aye, motion carries 4-0. Entertain a motion on the decision.
I move that we approve this is on request
There's
number
two
one.
requests, yes.
So on request number one, I move that we approve this request with the 3 conditions in the staff report. 1, the final plans shall substantially conform to the site plan depicted in Exhibit C. 2, a building permit be obtained prior to installing the new shed. 3, no additional accessory structure of any type shall be permitted, nor shall a variance be considered for any additional accessory structure.
Motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Milborn. Voice vote, Mr. Mull,
Aye.
Mr. Milborn,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
and I'm an aye, and motion carries 4-0. You are free to continue.
No, we have one more.
Oh, I'm sorry. And one more, you're right. See, ya, you need help me. I need the help.
I move that we approve this request number 2 with the same 3 conditions.
Motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Milborn. Voice vote, Mr. Mull,
Aye.
Mr. Milborn,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. That motion carries 4-0. Now we are to a motion for issuing the findings of fact.
Madam Chairman, having considered the statutory criteria, I move that we direct the Corporation's Counsel's Office to draft written findings of fact regarding our decision on the variance request petition presented in variance petition number BZA 2024-038. Said findings to separately incorporate the staff report and the evidence submitted into record for consideration and adoption by the Board of Zoning Appeals as our final decision and final action regarding this petition in our next meeting.
Motion by Mr. Mull, second by Mr. Milborn. Okay, voice vote, Mr. Mull. Hello,
You're muted.
you're muted.
Sorry, I was trying to hit it.
Got
Aye.
excited, huh?
I was super excited.
Okay, your voice vote,
Aye.
Mr. Milborn,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Motion carries 4-0. Mr. Carpenter, you can proceed working with the staff. And,
It's been wonderful. Staff's all been great. They've helped me quite a bit, so.
that's not a bad
I appreciate, it's been a long,
a learning experience, I'm sure.
Yes, it has been.
Well, thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
All right.
Now, all my neighbors like, you have to do what? All right, see you in the morning. You're there at like 8 a.m.
All right.
See ya.
Next, order of business, BZA 2024-040 Development Standards Variance for 345 South Oakwood Drive. Petitioner Megan Diacio is requesting relief from the following sections of the Unified Development Ordinance, Section 10-03-13C, accessory structures. Number 6, to allow for an accessory structure over 300 square feet to not have a 36-inch masonry wainscot. Number 2, Section 10-02-14A, residential medium lot zone. I, development standards to allow accessory structures in a front yard. And number 3, Section 10-03-14G, general design standards. 1, to allow a concrete block of any type on a column. And who do we have here to speak on this petition?
Hunter Kaiser.
Go ahead.
Hunter Kaiser is going to speak on behalf of Megan Chacho.
And your name is
Hunter Kaiser,
Hunter Kaiser.
Kaiser.
And your address?
2940 Oleander Drive in Wilmington, North Carolina. I'm the draftsperson for the owner.
And I am actually on as well.
Okay, now we can see you. In order to get you sworn in, we have to see you, yes. Okay, our secretary will go ahead and swear you in.
Do you swear to not use perjury? Testimony is true to the best of your knowledge.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Mr. Kaiser?
Yes.
Are all the notices in order?
Everything is in order and in our files.
I provided a copy of the Unified Development Ordinance and the comprehensive plan.
Do we have anyone else who wishes to speak on this petition, either for or against? You want to go ahead and stand and be sworn in?
Stand there.
Not yet.
Okay.
We'll get you.
Okay. Do you swear not to use perjury? Testimony is true to the best of your knowledge. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, we'll start with the petitioner. Whoever is going to be speaking on this petition. We have 3 variances, and it appears that there is one set of answers for all 3 variances. You want to go ahead and tell us why you're here before we get to those?
We're here on the 36-inch high mortar masonry requirement on the accessory structure because it becomes more of a decorative requirement for this installation, and it deviates from the architectural details of the existing 6,000 square foot residence, which has stone on it, but is in more of a vertical nature based on when it was built. And then the second request to have it to not have the mortar masonry requirement is that it is, it's an additional cost on the homeowner that won't be seen because the majority of the accessory structure is in the highly wooded area of the lot.
Okay, was there anything regarding the second petition?
The other petition regarding the accessory structure in the front yard. The accessory structure is, can be referenced in the site plan, is actually in line with the front elevation of the addition that's being put on the residence. And it comes in the front yard because of the curve in the roadway is actually technically closer to it. Well, it measures the corner of the accessory structure measures closer to the roadway, but it is not in front of the actual elevation of the residence.
Okay, we'll go ahead and read through the statement of reasons And all three answers, the answers apply to all three variance requests, as I understand it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'll start it off and then you'll be providing the responses. I'm assuming you do have your statements of reasons.
Yes.
Okay. The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community because
It is a decorative requirement.
okay. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner because
There remains a substantial wooded enclosure of the accessory structure against all neighboring lot lines, and we're maintaining all the setbacks from any side lot lines.
number three, the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property because
It will not be architecturally cohesive with the existing structure and will force unnecessary financial hardship on the owner for this project.
and number four, the structure is not regulated under Indiana Code 8-21-10-3 for hazard air navigation. Do you have anything else you wish to state regarding this petition?
No.
Okay. Does the owner have anything more to say regarding this
No.
petition?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Okay, and the staff?
Staff is in favor of variances 1 and 2 for the wainscoting and to have an accessory structure in a front yard. As you've seen in your staff report, it's a corner lot, but even for that, it's a bit of an odd shape that it's almost a U. So granted, the accessory structure is technically in the front yard and that it's closest to the street, it's still 100 feet back and behind trees, you wouldn't even see it from the road. I think it fits the definition of a variance. The masonry wainscot is, again, the accessory structure is not going to be seen by anyone other than the property owner. It should match the house. And if the wainscoting is going to take away from that, I think they're in a better position to judge that than the city is, so we're have no issue with that. The third variance for the can I ask, are there columns on the addition now, or is that no longer?
That's no longer required, that variance.
Okay, were you withdrawing variance number 3?
We can withdraw variance 3.
Okay. I wanted to make sure before I said that, because I know you've shifted it around. Yeah, the other concern with this property is there's a very large drainage easement that we found out partway through the process that is kind of necessitating where the addition and accessory structure could go. Previously, there were columns for the addition. It's now going to be shifted to the opposite side of the house, and the columns are no longer necessary. So that variance is withdrawn.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, close. Oh, that's right. We have someone here. Thank you. You want to go ahead and go to the podium? And there should be a sheet there for you to put your name and address, so we make sure we have the name spelled correctly.
Thank you.
Name and address for the record?
Yes, 411 South Oakwood Drive. My name's Pat Cotillo Stump. I live 2 doors down from the home where these variances are proposed. And I would object to the addition in the front of the home. It's going to actually be in the front yard, I think closer to the street than you might guess from looking at the plans. Also, all of the trees in front of the yard have essentially been removed, most of them. It's very barren, and I think you would see everything. I wouldn't have any objection to the 300 square foot structure at the side of the house, because I actually, that would be in a wooded lot, you wouldn't really see it. But if you do an addition in the front of the yard, you definitely will. It will not be hidden. That's it.
Anything else?
Location,
Okay.
structure.
Is there something else? Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Questions from the panel? Mr. Mull?
No questions here.
Mr. Milburn?
I'm sorry, I might have missed it. The petitioner have the time to respond to the
Oh, I'm sorry.
administrator. And then after the petitioner responds, the administrator would have,
Okay.
or.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was distracted.
Okay, we're reopening the public hearing. Whoever wants to respond, Mr. Kaiser or Ms. Ciacio,
Chacho.
to the remonstrators' concerns?
I think the primary component is that the zoning variance is actually that's been submitted is for the accessory structure specific to it, not to the addition. The addition exists within all lot lines and setbacks and ordinances of the city of Greenwood. So, and has not been an issue to my understanding.
Okay.
And go ahead.
I'm not sure. We're only talking about the accessory structure.
Correct. Yeah. This is it seems the neighbor may have been bringing up another component of the project that's not up for consideration this evening.
Okay, so we're only talking about the accessory structure. Just make sure that's clear. Okay, and that's what the remonstrator was concerned about. So were there any responses to her concerns?
My understanding is the remonstrator didn't have an issue with the accessory structure in the front yard.
I thought that's what the concern was that she had, was with the accessory structure being in the front yard.
My understanding, there's an addition that's also being put on to the front of the house. What I heard is that she is concerned about the addition, not the accessory structure.
Okay.
So just a clarifying point, and we can clarify with the remonstrator as well. But Exhibit C in the staff report that's provided, it does show where the new accessory building is located, which it would be on the left side of the paper, and then the one-story addition is on the far right side of the paper. Since this is a corner lot that's kind of U-shaped, they are both technically in fronts. The addition is a part of the primary structure, and it is not here tonight, but the accessory structure that is off of the existing concrete driveway, that is what the request is for, to have that located in what is called a front yard. So we can maybe have the remonstrator clarify, but I think the petitioner believes that they're referring to the addition to the home and not the accessory structure. It was unclear to me whether or not it was the remonstrator was talking about the addition or the accessory structure.
Mr., would you like to go clarify or respond to the comments made?
When I looked at this plan, it looked to me as though there was an addition to the home in the front. There will be more in the front yard. And also, there's also a separate building that's greater than 300 square feet that would be a garage. I wouldn't object to the garage, but I think everyone would have to understand an addition of that type would take up a considerable amount of the front yard. I thought that was part of the consideration this evening, both of these things.
Okay. For this evening, all we're concerned with is I'm assuming it's a garage, it's in
Is that what it
a
is?
separated structure, but it's not clear what it is.
It's a 3-car garage. That's correct.
So that's the only thing for consideration this evening.
Oh, then I would have no objection to that.
Okay. Thank you. Now we'll close the public hearing, or has staff got anything more on that? Okay.
I think we're good.
Okay, so now we'll close the public hearing and go to the staff. Mr. Paul, you got any questions?
I'm good.
Mr. Milborn?
No.
Mr. King?
No, now that I know what it is.
That was gonna be my question, exactly what was it and how that was going to be. I wasn't sure on this drawing as to even where it was at because it's very poor.
And it's actually the addition that's shown on there is actually switched sides since that was submitted.
Okay,
So the addition's on that garage side.
Yes.
we'll be on the garage side
I mean,
in
not
the
to the-
future,
not
but that's
to
not our
this.
concern.
Right.
Got it, all right. So we're there. All right, then we'll move on to entertaining motion to enter the evidence into the record.
Madam Chairman, I move that we admit all the evidence presented in regard to this matter, including the notices, receipts, maps, photographs, written documents, petitioner's application and attachments, petitioner's detailed statement of reasons, the staff report prepared by the planning department, certified copies of the UDO and comprehensive plan, testimony of the petitioner, city planning staff, and any administrators, and all other exhibits, be they oral or written, for consideration by this board in regard to this position, and to include testimony of those present this evening.
Motion by Mr. Mull,
Second.
second by Mr. King. All those in favor, voice vote. Mr. Mull,
Aye.
Mr. Milborn,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Motion carries 4-0. I'm going to entertain a motion on request number 1 to allow an accessory structure over 300 square feet to not have a 36-inch masonry wainscot.
I move that we approve the request with the one condition in the staff report, which is the final plans shall substantially conform to the site plan depicted in Exhibit C and building elevations depicted in Exhibit D.
Motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Milborn. Voice vote, Mr. Mull,
Aye.
Mr. Milborn,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. That motion carries 4-0. Variance request to number 2 to allow accessory structure in a front yard.
I move that we approve this request with the same condition.
Motion by Mr. King, second by Mr. Milborn. All those in favor, Mr. Mull,
Aye.
Mr. Milborn,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. That motion carries 4-0. Now, we will entertain a motion to issue findings of fact since, number 3, the request number 3 has been officially withdrawn, so that is not for consideration. Okay, entertain a motion on issuing findings of fact.
Madam Chairman, having considered the statutory criteria, I move that we direct the Corporation's Counsel Office to draft written findings of fact regarding our decision on the variance request to present in variance petition number BZA 2024-040. Said findings typically incorporate the staff report and the evidence submitted into the record for consideration and adoption by the Board of Zoning Appeals as our final decision and final action regarding this petition at our next meeting.
Motion by Mr. Mull,
Second.
second by Mr. King. Voice vote, Mr. Mull,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mr. Milborn,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. Motion carries 4-0. Mr. Kaiser and Ms. Ciesio, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. You work with staff to proceed on this. And you're done for this petition. Anything
so
else is outside of this meeting tonight, so if there's any other issues, those will be taken up at a later time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Number 3, 2025 BCA and BC meeting schedule calendar.
Just for the remonstrator, if you would like updated plans, we do have those that show where the new addition is located. If you want to reach out to our office, we'd be happy to provide those.
Thank you.
So this next item is our 2025 meeting schedule. It's already nearing the end of the year, and people have to do their notices far in advance with the newspaper and mailing. So we do have our BZA and Plan Commission meeting schedule. This will also be on Plan Commission's docket. This year we have added 2 training sessions, and these would be combined training sessions with BZA and Plan Commission. But the schedule essentially follows a very similar pattern as it has in years in the past. The agenda distribution did shift to the Thursday. We do have our technical review committee meetings on Wednesday, and it gets to be quite a hectic day when you're finishing up with the technical review committee meeting and getting an agenda out the door. So we hope to have more accurate, clearer agendas to you guys on Thursday. If there's an asterisk, it just means that it was moved due to a holiday, and there are that's all I have to say on this. We would appreciate if you guys would adopt the schedule, or if you have any comments, to let us know.
I don't have any issues. I don't think Kenny would. We should wait for
It will still be the
Schedule no matter what.
the second and fourth meeting, so it's kind of a continuation of this last year. I will say if he does have any objections, we could always come back and amend the schedule if need be.
Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Motion by Mr. King to approve, Mr. Milborn second.
Aye.
Mr. Muller, aye, okay. Mr. Milborn,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
and I'm an aye, so that has been approved. Any new business from the floor? Seeing none, any announcements?
None from staff.
Legal?
No.
Then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Aye.
All right, see you next time. Can you stop the
See you
recording?
guys.